Hi everyone. Today I want to do a video. It's a channel message that I got from Source. So I didn't want to post it as a message on the group because they wanted me to do a video of it. So I had asked, do we need to go to spiritual places like temples, churches, and mosques, or whatever spiritual place people go to worship or pray? And I was told by source that no, there is really no need for you to go to a temple to pray. The way they explained this to me, I mean, the way source explained this to me was that all the man-made places, doesn't matter what it is, a temple, a church, or you know, be it a mosque or a synagogue, whatever you go to, those are all places where people socialize and they actually also work as a business. So they were just explaining that these are places where money is given by pretty much everybody who visits. You leave something when you go there. A lot of times they ask for donations to do something or the other. And their way of source's way of explaining this was that because of that situation, it is not a spiritual place in the sense that you're going there to meet people, and yeah, you might be spiritually inclined and you pray or whatever, but they say they don't dwell in places like that because um, that doesn't really help anybody. So uh, I asked, how about in the olden days? Because all these very old temples, very old churches exist from many years ago. Some are hundreds of years ago, and some thousands, depending on what part of the world you're in. So I said, this is something that was done from way back. Why? What is the difference? Why are you saying we can't go to temples and pray and all that? So they're saying that in those days people were different. There was no greed. There was no another motive in having a building, a spiritual building like that. The idea of people going to temples then was more to pray, to help them spiritually. Uh, People were a lot different then too. They actually supported each other. They helped each other. They did not just think about themselves. They knew how to share. They knew how to work as a team and live together. So this is what we don't have in this time that we live in. A lot of people do their own thing. They don't think about helping anybody. So they were just saying that if you are going to take the money and visit a place like a temple or a church or any spiritual place, if you're going to take money and go donate it to them, that is not helping anybody. It's just helping the people who run the temple. And yeah, they might use some of it to help others, but a lot of it goes to pay for people who are running the temples, so or the churches or whatever it is, whatever you have. So what source suggested we do is that instead of donating to places like that, why don't you go and adopt a kid? Like there's a lot of associations, I should say, or like organizations is a better word, that help kids, that help families, and there are many out around the world. There's one that's Children's International, which I was told is a really good one, where you pick a child and you support that child throughout their life, so they get good education, food, all the necessities of life. So they suggested that source suggested that we do something like that, where we are helping somebody who actually needs the money, who actually will appreciate. And by doing something like that, Source explained that you get blessings back. So when you help someone like that, you are attracting abundance to yourself. So when you give in service to others, and not think about what your benefit is at the end of it all, you end up attracting. It's just how the universe works. You end up attracting abundance for yourself and your family. So this is what they were explaining to me, that yeah, there is a lot of spiritual places, but God or Source does not reside in places like that. They reside where there is peace, where there is people helping others, where there is good intentions, and so they want everybody to know that this is a time when you want to help, and it's, it doesn't mean like you have to go and give your money to, like, a lot of your money away or whatever. No, help what you can. Like if you're going and donating to a temple like $50 or $10 or whatever, $5, give that to somebody who really needs it. Don't give it to the temple, they don't need it. uh, there is no need for places like that. To be spiritual, you can do that in your home. All it needs is for you to connect to your higher self, and then in turn connect to the high vibrational beings and source. So it's very easy to do that. You don't need to be sitting in a temple singing, or you know it really is not considered as something spiritual according to Source. Okay, so having said that, I hope that we will have a moment where we can make a change, and help others more, and make a wave where you do for somebody, and then they do for another person, and then they do for another person. I think that is a system that can really work, because if you were to help a child, for instance, and they understand that I had this opportunity because somebody supported me, then that child is then going to know that they need to do the same for somebody else. So it's like paying it forward, basically. And families too. Anybody who help will help somebody else, because they understand their situation, and they understand that when somebody helped them is when they got where they are, and they're successful. So I hope that we have more people do that, and support each other, and help each other, and just spread the love and light, and do as best as you can for others. Any service you can do, or anything that is beneficial to others. Sometimes we feel like we don't have enough to help others, and because of that we are afraid to. But it doesn't take much. There's a lot of charities that don't even it's like pennies sometimes, and they make a big difference in the world. So definitely think about it, and I'm hoping that we will be able to do big things in the future with this, and make a change in the world. Okay, so I just had to you know give that message out to everyone, and Source loves you, and I love you all. And thank you for being supportive of my group. I really appreciate that. All right, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Good night.